Visiting Portugal was a dream come true. I'm so grateful I got to visit this beautiful country from the north to the south with my family. So come join me in the capital. Welcome to Lisbon. From the picturesque trams to the timeless cobblestone streets, Lisbon's elegant charm was amplified with the hustle and bustle of a large city. Just steps away from our hotel was St. Anthony's Church. Right outside the church was a beautiful wall with plates. As the saint of marriage and lost items, the plates highlighted prayers from the people to St. Anthony. On 13th of June, Lisbon celebrates St. Anthony's feast with the street festival. As the saint of marriages, there is also a tradition where 16 couples in Lisbon are selected to get married on St. Anthony's feast, which is televised. One of the most fascinating things about this church is that St. Anthony was born in the crypt located in the church. Down the street from St. Anthony's Church is Alfama, the oldest district in Lisbon and one of the few neighborhoods in Lisbon that survived the earthquake. From here you can get a glimpse of the iconic red tile roofs of Lisbon and the Tagus River. We decided to stop here for lunch and enjoyed some peri-peri chicken, grilled sea bream, Portuguese breaded pork chops and the famous sardines. As you can tell, my kids are loving the Portuguese food in Lisbon. We then headed over to St. George's Castle, which dates back to 200 BC, when the castle was established by the Romans. On the way, we stopped to eat some freshly made pastéis de bacalhau, which is a traditional Portuguese finger food. The kind lady at the store shared some tips and tricks on how to make the best pastéis de bacalhau, which I look forward to sharing with you in a future video. Bacalhau means codfish in Portuguese, and these pastéis de bacalhau are filled with some delicious cheese on the inside and crispy on the outside. As you enter the castle, you get a sense of deep history that surrounds the castle walls. The castle was dedicated to St. George, the patron saint of England, by King Alfonso to his English wife as a wedding gift. From the castle, you can see breathtaking views that overlook the city of Lisbon. The castle's high vantage point provided a prime defense position and has been used since the Roman era. The castle also has fierce cannons and high watchtowers that adds to the medieval architecture. After the castle, we headed over to Pink Street, which is a trendy spot for great nightlife in Lisbon. This was definitely one of the highlights of my time in Lisbon, and I recommend going around 7:30 p.m. to get a seat at one of the restaurants. Back in the day, Pink Street was Lisbon's red light district where sailors came in search of pleasure. In 2011, the city of Lisbon shut down the brothels, painted the streets pink, and opened new bars. The whole atmosphere in the area changed, taking on a very youthful and energetic vibe. We had dinner at Rio Grande, and I highly recommend stopping by for their delicious shrimps and a prime location on Pink Street. After a long day in Lisbon, it was amazing to come back to our spacious hotel in the Bacia district called Madalena Hermitage. Scattered across Lisbon, you will find small gingeria bars which sell Portuguese cherry liqueur. We had some gingeria in chocolate shot glasses, and it was delicious and a must try. Down the street from the gingeria, we came across a huge canned sardines store. I was so excited to go in as Lisbon is known for its canned sardines. One of the kind ladies in the store told us all about the different canned sardines they had to offer. And we even picked up a few for a traditional Lisbon souvenir to take back to Canada with us. We then headed to Rossio Square, which is the center of the city. In 1848, the square was paved with its iconic wave pattern cobblestone, which is now spread across Portugal and its former colonies. From there, we took the Gloria funicular tram up the hill to go to the Jardin San Pedro de Alcantara. These trams are all over Lisbon, and I especially enjoyed the ride because I was tired of walking. Once we reached Jardin San Pedro, we enjoyed the stunning viewpoint that overlooks the city and the iconic red roofs of Lisbon. Jardin San Pedro has detailed cobblestone tiles and a grand fountain in the center. This tends to be a popular spot in the evening for people to relax and enjoy the sunset over the city. We then headed over to Barrio Alto to end the day, which is a great spot for restaurants, fado music and nightlife. The restaurant we ate at had fado, which is a traditional Portuguese style of music, and it served authentic Portuguese cuisine, which I'm excited to recreate and share with you all. The next morning, we headed over to Belém bright and early. I was so excited to visit Pastéis Belém, a bakery famous for its custard tarts. These custard tarts are commonly known as pastéis de nata or Portuguese custard tarts. The pastéis de Belém are the original version and the only custard tarts that can be called by that name. It's considered as one of the 7 wonders of Portuguese cuisine. When we got to the cafe, we stopped for some coffee and ordered an assortment of their pastries before I headed to the back to speak to one of the owners to learn about their family's secret recipe that is almost 200 years old. We were thrilled to get a chance to make and learn their tried and tested method and see how the pastéis de Belém are made. I'm so excited to share a detailed interview in the weeks to come where I interview the owner and share with you guys the inside scoop on the famous Portuguese custard tarts. And after giving the pastéis de Belém a try, I can definitely say they have earned their spot in Portuguese history. If you're in Lisbon, you have to come down to Belém and visit the famous Pastéis de Belém bakery. From there we took a few steps over to Geronimo Monastery, which is one of the greatest symbols of Portugal's age of discovery with its beautiful Gothic architecture. The monastery was built in 1502 to celebrate Vasco da Gama's successful voyage to India, and today Vasco da Gama's tomb rests inside the Geronimo Monastery, as well as other great figures in Portuguese history. Across from the Geronimo Monastery is the Monument to the Discoveries, which commemorates the age of discoveries in Portugal and its famous voyagers such as Prince Henry the Navigator, who set sail to discover new regions in the world. The monument resembles a ship which faces the sea. Besides the monument is a tile map that highlights the different places that were colonies of Portugal, such as Goa in India. I have many fond memories of my dad sharing stories of his time growing up in Goa when it was a Portuguese colony. He spoke fluent Portuguese, sang Portuguese songs, loved canned sardines, and always dreamt about visiting Lisbon. Alongside the monument is the Belém Tower, which serves as a gateway to the city of Lisbon from the Tagus River and is one of the few structures that survived the earthquake in Lisbon. On the way back from Belém, we passed by the 25th April Bridge, which is the longest suspension bridge in Europe. From there, we headed over to the Timex Market, which has multiple food vendors with a variety of global cuisines. This food market is always packed and hosts a unique style of communal tables. You can find some very exotic and exciting food here, such as French eclairs, American donuts, and traditional Portuguese food, all under one roof. However, we could not stay there too long as we had reservations at Maria Katita, a local restaurant that serves Portuguese food with indoor and patio seating. And oh my goodness, the food was amazing, authentic, and the servers were very polite. Believe it or not, but we still had some space after lunch to taste the bifanas at Alfonso Bifana. This is a small restaurant that is loved by locals and is so good that my husband and son went back for seconds. I got to speak to one of the gentlemen of the restaurants, and I can't wait to share my bifana recipe with you guys. We then headed over to the famous Santa Justa lift that has a beautiful wrought iron Gothic design. The lift was built in the 19th century and helps to connect the lower and upper parts of Lisbon. The lines to ride the lift tend to be very long and packed, so I suggest using an elevator in a nearby store to experience the amazing viewpoint of Lisbon from the top of the Santa Justa lift. Finally, we walked over to the Rossio Square, also known as Commerce Square, that has great architecture and a grand iconic art and striking yellow buildings. Until 1755, a royal palace stood for over 2 centuries in this square until it was destroyed by the earthquake in Lisbon. The statue of King Jose I now stands in the center of the Commerce Square. Today, the Commerce Square is packed with the hustle and bustle of pedestrians, trams, and cars. To end our night, we returned back to Maria Katita because we were so impressed with their food we had for lunch. We had a few other things we wanted to try off their menu, like their seafood catapulana that has a delicious lobster. Even the second time around, this restaurant did not disappoint, and it's a must-try during your time in Lisbon. As the capital and heart of Portugal, Lisbon has deep roots in Portuguese and world history. I truly enjoyed exploring life in Lisbon and loved the food, rich culture, and kind people. Thank you, Lisbon.